Hello, welcome to Rozradio for another edition. So, what we're going to talk about today is Alex Jones. I know many people love Alex Jones and think he's the be-all, end-all of the new age alternative media, but I'm here to show you why he's not. Don't feel bad if he's fooled you. He fooled me. He's fooled most people. But with a bit of digging and a bit of research, we will now show you here on Rozradio why you should not listen to this guy, why he's full of crap. So here's a few facts that you might want to know about Alex Jones if you haven't heard of him. Alex Jones is the radio and internet host for the GCN network. The GCN network stands for the Genesis Communication Network. They've been connected with the ABC, as in the American Broadcasting Corporation, which is owned by Disney. Alex Jones also has a few suspicious characters work for him. He has Molly Maroney work for him, and he's a former employee of Stratford and Parker Media. They're both CIA known fronts. Stratford basically is a company that collects heaps and heaps of data on lots of people, and they share that with the CIA. So I'm pretty sure everyone that's signed up to Alex Jones or watches him on YouTube, all that information has been passed to Stratford, then through to the CIA, just so they can see how many nutbags or people that are against the establishment are watching this type of media. So that's just, if I was on any of those, like subscribe to his channel, or if you have a membership with them, I'd cancel all that shit straight up. Alex Jones is not to be trusted. Another well-known thing is he has his website named Prison Planet. The very fact that he calls his website Prison Planet is a dead giveaway. Prison Planet is a term used in Scientology. It was revealed in the LRH writings, and once you're a member and you become OT level 3, you read a thing called Prison Planet, which is a writing of his that you get to research if you're in the Scientology movement. Yeah, he is connected with Scientology. How say? Oh, well, Scientology also have a committee called the CCHR, Citizens Commission on Human Rights. He has been awarded many awards through the CCHR. So is his good friend Jim Mars. Jim Mars is also a gatekeeper. His books are on the approved reading list of Scientology. The only way to get a book on the approved reading list of Scientology is to be in Scientology. That's why that's how they brainwash them into, doing what they ask and making sure Scientology is the only shit that they read when they're in Scientology. The money that funds these people from Scientology to write these books goes back to Scientology, because they're only allowed to read these books that are created by Scientology or people within Scientology. It's a pretty much close circle of Scientology money. That's what it is. That's what they do. They brainwash you into thinking that's the only thing that you're allowed to do. Everything else is what they would call SP, suppressive people. We'll now have a look at some other connections to Alex Jones and some of his frequent guests that have appeared on his radio program. So two of them are Rena LeBeau and her husband, General Stubblebine. Interesting stuff about General Stubblebine. He's the ex-Major General of the US Intelligence. He also was the head of the Stargate program. The Stargate program was based on L. Ron Hubbard's work with remote viewing techniques. So if you haven't heard of the Stargate program, have a look into that. Those files have been declassified since, and very interesting stuff. He used to also be the loudest advocate of the New Age warfare, so he loves this shit. He's not part of the truth movement or anything like that. Just because he's an ex-US intelligence doesn't mean he's ex. He still works for them, trust me. He's also, his work that he did with the Stargate program also was based off a series of books and a film. I don't know, you probably heard of it, The Men Who Stare at Goats. That was written and directed by John Ronson. So John Ronson is also quite an interesting fella, and I'll discuss a bit more about him now. So John Ronson, he's hosted a pro-Scientology TV channel where he speaks about the CCHR, and he just talks about how great it is and yada yada yada. Just super pro-Scientology. So he's obviously a member. And if you're a member of Scientology, you're not supposed to hang out with people who aren't members of Scientology. So what's he doing with Alex Jones? Hanging out with his mate who's a Scientologist. Him and Alex Jones supposedly snuck into the Bohemian Grove. That's how Alex Jones really got his start, with the big Bohemian Grove scandal where he snuck in and filmed people. It seems pretty set up to me. He's also friends with Lieutenant Michael Aquino, a psychologist who is the head of psychological operations for the US Army. He wrote a document called Mind War, and this is where the phrase InfoWars come from. He actually coined that phrase in this document called Mind Wars. So that's a little bit more info on what a fucking fraud Alex Jones is. He's also had many members of the political elite on there, like Ron Paul, who's a member of the Council of National Policy. Council of National Policy are some evil motherfuckers. They were headed by Phyllis A. Schlafly, but luckily she died only about a month and a half ago. So ding dong, the fucking witch is dead. That's about it. You know, it's pretty clear. You look at Alex Jones' microphone, it's a fucking pentagram. He talks about how every one of his family was a Freemason and they headed the war for the Republic. We all know, if you've done any research, you know that was designed by the banking elite and by the secret societies. He is a puppet, guys. This is all I'm going to say. He's a fucking puppet. If you listen to him, don't fucking listen to me, because I don't want you. I don't want you listening to my shit. If you like that and you want to go down that rabbit hole after I've just shown you many facts as to why you shouldn't listen to him, there are hundreds, but I don't have the time or know how to make a video big enough to blow your fucking mind with the amount of information I have on this prick. But hopefully one day I'll get that good and I'll make that video for you. But just don't get involved. If you've been down his rabbit hole and you've you know realized he's full of shit, that's great. If this has made you realize he's full of shit, even better. You know, and don't feel bad that you've been lied to once again. That's what the alternative media is there for. To get all the people that are doing actual research and get them stuck listening to that shit instead of actually doing their own research. And as I always say, do your own research on what I've said. Double check it all. If you're not convinced, you know, well, fair enough. But if you fact check me, you will find out that these are facts. And you will come to the same conclusion that I have. Alex Jones is a fucking gatekeeper and he's not to be. As always, I try and do the right thing here and show you where I did a lot of this research and who led me on the path to find out this information. And Josh Reeves is a huge help. He is probably the best researcher that I've found so far. So his stuff really helped out. Also, Pete Santilli. He's also quite good. Some of his information helped a lot as well. So yeah, thanks. Make sure you look into Josh Reeves' website, The Global Reality. They've got some great documentaries. The Spellcaster is 100% the best documentary I've ever watched in my life. Anyway, take care all of you and keep fighting the good